What's going on, traders? Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. And if this is your first time to my channel and you want to try to grow your trading account and learn more about supply and demand, start now by hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos. Alright, first off, looking at the US dollar COT reports, there's not much data to look at here. They still remain 67% short to 33% long. The past week, they added 279 long positions and 674 shorts, so not much to see there. But if you look at the chart, like we've talked about, my top left corner, we are in this monthly area of demand and weekly area of demand. So that's kind of why we're seeing a rally here right now. And if you look at the daily time frame, we reacted off of this somewhat fresh daily demand, and we are actually at this daily supply right now. And it's kind of what it's setting up to do is it's kind of a trap, because we had this clear, very nice momentum shift here. We had the removal of 1 and 2 opposing supply zones on the 4-hour chart. And we have a nice demand zone created right here with the break of this trend line as well. So it's a very nice momentum shift. The only problem is that we are contacting this daily area of supply. So basically on Monday, I'm going to start looking for 1-hour confirmation for USD shorts and on all of the major currency pairs to see what it gives me. Basically, I will not be buying the US dollar until this daily supply has been broken, only because it's the safest bet, because the monthly and the weekly are in the downtrend. And yes, this 4-hour momentum shift is very nice, but we're contacting this daily area of supply. So to start buying the US dollar right now is way too risky for me. I'm not going to start doing it. I'm actually going to continue to look for short positions based on the COT reports and based on the downward momentum on the monthly and the weekly time frame. So yeah, like I said, wait for this daily area of supply to be removed, and then we can start looking for some longs on the US dollar. Alright, on to EURUSD. The past week, they added 1,984 long positions, and they actually added 2,000 short positions, which makes me think, we're probably going to be seeing a move to the downside here, which might help us looking at the US dollar to see what's eventually going to happen. And if you look at the daily time frame here, we had a nice reaction off of this daily supply that I've had drawn out for quite a while now. And if you look on the 4-hour time frame, we are experiencing a 4-hour momentum shift, but kind of like the US dollar on the daily time frame, we're going to have to eat through this daily area of demand first before taking short positions. Until then, I'm still pretty it would be bullish on EURUSD. Even though we're in this monthly and weekly area of supply, it's still not good enough for me yet. And if you look on the 1-hour, there's not much to go off of, so it's kind of a tough call for now. But ultimately, we're going to be watching the US dollar to see what that exactly does, and then when the US dollar makes its move, whether it's giving us a 1-hour confirmation at the daily supply or 1-hour confirmation at the daily supply, then we can start to look at all of these currency pairs like the euro to look for some short or long positions based on what the US dollar eventually does. All right, looking at Aussie US dollar, the COT reports are showing us that they actually added 5,900 longs, but they actually added 3,300 shorts as well. But their overall exposure is still more to the short side, not by much. It's only 52% to 48%, as you can see there. And with that being said, we're in this monthly area of supply right here, and then also this weekly area of supply on the top right. But if you look at the daily time frame, there's not much as far as the daily goes. So if you're taking, if your sequence for supply and demand is daily, 4-hour, 1-hour, the Aussie might actually be a good place to start. That might be the best pair to look for based on the daily time frame. If you look on the 4-hour, I actually took this trade right here. Very nice trade. It worked out very well. And then now you can see there has been a 4-hour, somewhat of a momentum shift. The trend line still is in play and reacting off of here very nicely. But we had demand here that removed this supply, and then we had this supply that removed that demand, and now we are seeing a reaction off of it. New 1-hour supply created, but like I said, I'm not looking to do anything just yet. I am actually still bearish on the US dollar, so if anything, I'm trying to buy the Aussie dollar. But like I said, we're still going to have to wait for the US dollar to show what it's going to do, because I'm not just going to take a guess, because trading is somewhat guessing, but at the same time you want to make sure the banks are showing what they're going to be doing by removing their own supply and demand zones first. But looking on the 4-hour, there's a very nice momentum shift here. Ultimately, I don't really see much as far as a buying opportunity goes. If I was going to buy this, I would most likely, since the 4-hour trend is up, I would most likely have to see this zone be removed, and then nice buying opportunity on the 1-hour here for a price to move up higher. But that's all going to depend on what the US dollar does. All right, looking at GBPUSD. As far as the call reports show, not much is going on. They got rid of a few longs, and they actually added almost 1,000 shorts, but their overall percentage remains 53% long to 47% short. The daily time frame is still in an uptrend. Almost reacted off of this daily supply right here, but not quite. And if you look at the monthly and the weekly, there's still room to the upside until the next supply zone. If you look at the 4-hour, we are kind of in a range right now. It's sideways. You actually could probably draw something like this, even though I don't really give that too much weight, but I think it would be valid. So ultimately, if the US dollar starts to rally, then this zone would most likely be broken, and then we might have a nice 4-hour zone created right here, like something like that. But I'm kind of just sitting on my toes right now. But clearly, if the US dollar does start to rally and breaks that daily supply that I talked about earlier in the first pair that I reviewed, this zone, this 4-hour zone is like, look how much demand is here. We had 1 touch, 2 touch, 3, 4, 5 touches, right? So they're clearly holding up price right here. So if this zone is broken, to me, the zone that breaks this zone, I don't know why I can't delete that. The zone that breaks this zone is very important in my opinion. That's just how I kind of view it. So I'm going to wait for the US dollar to show me what happens. And if the US dollar starts to rally, we'll have a nice supply zone created right here for a nice short. If not, probably something like this will happen, breaks that zone. We'll continue the 4-hour uptrend. We might have a nice 1-hour zone or a 4-hour zone to buy. All right, on to USDJPY. Looking at the COT reports, they added 2,700 longs, and they actually added 5,586 shorts, which actually brought their short overall percentage down 2 points from 80% to 78%. And looking at the chart on the 4-hour time frame, we had a nice momentum shift right here on the 4-hour, and we had multiple demand zones being created, and right now this one is being respected. I'm actually going to drag that across right there, and that one as well. But it's kind of looking like the DXY, where we had the 4-hour momentum shift, but we are contacting this daily area of supply. It has been tested not once but twice, and this zone up here hasn't been tested yet. I drew out both of these because I wasn't really sure. I actually think I'm going to delete that zone because this was the zone and it showed me it by reacting off of it. So it's kind of a risky move to just be buying right now based on this. So, since this one kind of is correlated to the US dollar more than all the other ones, something that I would see in order to get long on USDJPY would for that zone to be breaking and then a nice demand zone to be created from that. Until then, I'm kind of just sitting on my toes. Like I've said, I know I'm repeating the same thing, but it's true, guys. I'm looking at the US dollar. I'm waiting for the US dollar to open the door for longs or for shorts. I'm just not going to take a guess. I'm going to wait because I think it would be higher probability. If you go to the 1-hour right here, I'm sure, yeah. So this 1-hour zone was respected. Probably a nice 2-to-1 right there. But I didn't want to buy that zone. It's too risky for me. Even though the 4 hours on an uptrend, the daily's on a downtrend, so all of my time frame trends were not lining up. So therefore, it's kind of too risky for me. So this would actually be a good zone to look for a 1-hour confirmation and maybe even a 4-hour based on the fact that it has been tested. So like I said, we'll have to wait for the US dollar to show its move, and then maybe we can get a nice 4-hour, 1-hour confirmation in there for a move to the downside. Okay, looking at USDCAD, the call reports, not much data here to look at. they added 226 longs and got rid of a few shorts as well, but their overall sentiment has changed from long to short, 61%, and it kind of makes sense because it's about time. We've been on this rally for quite a while now. On the daily time frame here, we almost reacted off of that daily supply. Now we are actually reacting off of this daily demand, but I'm still bearish on the US dollar. Like I said, if you look at the 4 hour, this trend line, beautiful trend line down, is still holding. So ultimately what I'm waiting for is for this trend line to be broken, creating demand below. As far as more supply goes, I don't see much till actually up here. If you look on the 1 hour, we are kind of ranging between this. I saw this zone. I didn't want to take it based on the US dollar getting stronger, and I'm glad I didn't because it looks like it might break now. It's kind of just a waiting game as far as the USDCAD goes, and it is correlated to oil, and oil is getting stronger and stronger every day. But we are coming up to that weekly area of supply in oil that I will show you later. So as far as USDCAD goes, it's kind of a waiting game. But in the monthly time frame, the weekly time frame, we have some room to the downside. So if the US dollar does start to show weakness again and reacts off of that daily supply level, the USDCAD might be a good candidate for a short position, as long as this 4 hour trend stays intact, which so far it is. When some of the other pairs, the 4 hour is sideways. So to me, I would most likely be taking a trade where the 4 hour trend is still down. All right, looking at USDCHF, the Swiss franc, they actually got rid of some longs and got rid of a few more shorts as well. So their overall short percentage actually was decreased by 1 point, not really significant. If you look at the daily time frame here, downward trend line, this still has not been a trend line break because this wick is touching. So basically I would need to see a candle up here fully close, and then we would have demand right down here on the daily time frame. This supply has been tested, not the best supply. It's really just selling. I just had it drawn out because there wasn't much drawn out here. It's not really even supply, but technically it is selling. We're seeing a reaction off of it on the daily time frame. If you look at the 4 hour, it kind of looks similar to USDJPY. Very nice 4 hour momentum shift. I really like that zone. You could probably actually draw it a little different. But yeah, nice 4 hour momentum shift here. 4 hour zone was being respected. Not much for 1 hour. This pair I'm not really super interested in getting short on if the US dollar does show us to look for shorts, based on the fact that the daily is kind of far away from this and there's not much fresh here. So I think there's better candidates for different currency pairs when the US dollar does finally show us the direction. And if the US dollar does give us a signal to look to go short on this pair, well, I would definitely want to see that zone be removed. And ultimately, I'd rather have this 4 hour momentum shift zone removed as well. But it might be hard to get it. So as far as the USD Swiss goes, there's not much going on this pair right now. Okay, looking at gold on the COT reports, they're still adding longs. It's really impressive. 8,000 longs, and they actually got rid of shorts too, which is pretty telling, right? Like if they added 8,000 longs and they actually added shorts, it would tell me, oh, maybe they're just trying to hold price up. But their overall percentage actually went from 82% to 83% long, and we are contacting this fresh area of daily demand. On the 4 hour, we've clearly had a nice momentum shift down here. I don't have all my zones drawn out because I don't really trade gold. But we had a nice momentum shift here, but similar to the US dollar, we're contacting this daily demand. It's just the opposite for the US dollar. So it's kind of all correlating. It'll be interesting to see what happens. If you do trade gold, maybe look for a 1 hour, 4 hour momentum shift in that area. I don't have all my zones drawn out on the 1 hour, so I'm not even going to bother. But confirmation on the 4 hour might be hard to get because the nearest zone I see is up there. So maybe if price does react off of that daily demand, we could see something like this, a break of that zone, then we would be officially in an uptrend, and then we have a nice area of demand right here to go long. But as far as gold goes, I don't see much going on because I don't really trade it. But with that being said, I would be definitely mindful of this daily area of demand on gold. All right, looking at crude oil last but certainly not least. The call reports show that they got rid of a lot of longs and a lot of shorts, 28,000 longs and 21,000 shorts. And their overall percentage went from 82% long to 81% long, but I'm still very, very bullish on oil. If you look at the top left and top right screen, my highest time frames, we're in this monthly area, and more importantly, we are in this fresh area of weekly supply, which kind of looks like it's going to be broken, but I'm not going to be buying oil right now based on that fact. It's kind of sketchy. I was actually looking at this 1 hour trade right here. I had the zone drawn out. Price was coming down. I'm like, should I take it? I don't know. You know, we were coming up to this weekly area of supply at that time, and I just wasn't super interested. And now we're coming up to this fresh area of daily supply. So I'm not bullish on. I mean, I'm bullish on oil, but I'm definitely not going to be buying, based on the fact that we're coming up to two fresh areas of supply. So I'm not really interested, especially to look on the 1 hour. If we do see a reaction off of this, if anything, I'd probably look for this 4 hour zone to get long in. That would probably be it. To take a 1 hour zone right now would be a little risky. I'm actually going to draw this zone out right now like that on my 1 hour time frame. Yeah, so based on the fact that we're contacting those two areas of higher time frame areas of supply, the 4 hour, in my opinion, would be a lot safer, and it might be this zone right here. We're just waiting for another candle close above. But yeah, as far as oil goes, it's been on a tear. A lot of stuff's been happening, and but we're coming up to this fresh daily area and weekly area of supply that looks very fresh to me. So I am not interested in getting long right now on oil. But in the future, definitely, I just want to see how we react off of these higher time frame areas of supply. All right, everyone. Thanks again for watching this week's Forex forecast. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well, if you don't mind. I really appreciate all the support. Let me know in the comments down below what pairs you're looking at this week, and maybe we can get in touch and you can send me a chart and let me know what you're looking at. I always like looking at charts. So with that being said, let's have a great trading week and let's make some money. Cheers.